Hi, Tug Morkel speaking here. It's New Year's Day. It's the first. Happy New Year. 2026 has rolled in. One of the, I know people say, "Oh God, another year gone by." I keep a diary. There's my 2025, and I've gone through it this morning. I love it. I just because I journal every day, and I just love going through, flicking through pages and reflection. Um, I just I don't know how to describe it. I reflect on another year. I'm now 65, going into 66, and officially heading for retirement, state pension. And I'm not going to quit. I just I love working, if you can call this work. I do work. I've got a nice job. We're not going to go into that. That I'm going to go and enjoy. So what I'm going to do today to help you, help me. It's good for me. This is my own therapy, but I also recommend that you talk to people. You can't just pick up a book and a self help book, and that well, it certainly doesn't work for me. Um, I think therapy, you've got to talk to somebody on the other side and ask questions, a Q&A, and take notes, each other take notes, and do a couple of exercises. Anyway, I'm reading again from Tug's Trek, my memoir of moral injury, which I wrote 4 years ago, as I said before. And I forgot to mention this, but it's in loving memory of my parents, Rex Morkel and Tish Lane. They both knew that I was ill and helped me soldier on. And for my rebel too, those are my children, they are my circle of life. And my little rebel, little Ellen rebel, she turns to her birthday tomorrow. So this is for you, Lolly. We've just been debriefed at Cabrit Barracks in Salisbury, Rhodesia. And now we transferred to D.R.E.A.M. for more training. The Selous Scouts had captured a high-ranking ZIPRA intelligence officer in Botswana who proved to be a valuable source of information for our war effort. C Squadron was tasked with a raid into Lusaka to capture Dumisa Debengwa, Nkomo's deputy and commander of the ZIPRA military intelligence. Given the loose talk is dangerous expression applicable to everyone in the country and becoming a national concern, the raid was planned in total secrecy. Those in ComOps had approved the plan. We spent a couple of weeks in an abandoned farm, on an abandoned farm, and practiced fighting in built-up areas, phobia. Repeatedly, we practiced confined space fighting, where we used grenades and the dreaded bunker bomb. Intense small arms fire from the AK would allow the clearing of each room. We practiced jumping out of Bell 205 helicopters. They would fly the SAS soldiers into combat. Our mild-mannered officer commanding C Squadron would be the tactical commander. I had huge respect for Captain Martin Pierce, who had just been awarded the Silver Cross of Rhodesia. The more experienced soldiers would participate, and I was tactfully told that I would remain on a remote airfield in the Zambezi escarpment. My own negative blood type was valuable in the case of emergency trauma and surgery. This was a high-risk op and could turn very hot indeed. I was resigned to the task ahead. We never relinquished hope and remained optimistic of victory over the communist-backed militants. It was no secret Africans did not like the white man, and any fears I had were relegated to the back of my mind. Any good punch-up was a good op, and when it did not go to plan, we called it hot. As a 19-year-old living from day to day, drinking too much in the evenings, I was relaxed about what was going on around us. I assumed that we were winning the war. We were partial to keeping our mouths shut. From the time I joined the squadron, I'd hardly seen my parents and did not have a girlfriend. There was far too much loose talk going on in Rhodesia, and confidential strategic military operations were being leaked inadvertently. The attack force took off in the moonlight and set low-level flight to Lusaka. I watched the helicopters disappearing into the gloom, feeling the tension of the occasion despite not being a fighting member of the operational team. I busied myself with forward base activities, waiting with the rest of the backup team for news of events on the ground. When it came, it was not the news we had wanted to hear. Captain Pierce had been fatally wounded in an explosion, and another member of the team had been shot. The operation had been planned as a hit and run mission with a specific objective, but clearly there had been a security leak, as when the troops returned, there was no sign of Debengwa. The operation had, however, cost the life of one of our most professional and highly respected officers. Witnessing the body of Captain Pierce being stretchered from the Kazovac helicopter to a waiting Dakota brought a lump to the throats of many seasoned operators. The squadron had lost three men in the month of June alone, and our squadron commander's funeral was a moving event, leaving a deep sense of anger and grief among us. It was customary after the funeral of a fallen comrade that we hit the bottle. During the wake, I stood on a broken beer bottle. The guys poured neat vodka into the wound, which was about 3 inches deep. I had to keep my foot elevated while the party continued, and I only discovered how serious my wound was when I had to undergo an operation to repair the tendons. The surgery rendered me unfit for active service over the short term. The army kept me busy, and I undertook courses in medics and signals. I became useful as a trained medic and a signaller. I cannot count how many intravenous saline drips I put into my veins, and I cannot count how many thick needles went into my veins. I hate needles to this day. My Morse code skills were below average. As a gunner, a medic, and a signaller, I would be in high demand for good ops. My resume was reading better, but there was a distinct lack of experience compared to the old soldiers. My friend Gray Maguire was killed in action on the 1st of August, and I became more antagonistic than I already was. So with that, see you in the next round. I'm going to keep reading and talk about moral injury and guilt, shame, anger, remorse, post-traumatic stress disorder. Some don't believe it exists. I was talking to an old mate the other day. He said, "Oh, what a lot of bullshit." He has his ways of dealing with it. I have mine. I have a framework called D.R.E.A.M.S. Stay tuned. Don't go away.